Hello everyone. Today we're going to do the Beadhead Flashback Pheasant Tail nymph. I know that's quite a mouthful, but this is a pretty effective little nymph fly. Works well in the spring and early summer for trout. So let's give this one a shot and let's get it tied up. So first thing I'm going to do is put a bead on this size 14 hook. This is a 14 2x long, 2x heavy. So remember, on these beads there's a big hole and a little hole, and we put that little hole on first, just like so, and then we reorient this hook. So we're up in here, and then I'm going to add some, I have some lead-free wire 0.015. I'm going to put that on there. So I'll probably just put 5 or 6 wraps on. So there's 6 wraps. Let's snip this off. Alright, now what I like to do with when I put on lead and a bead, I like to use a little bit of super glue. So I'm going to take this Zap-A-Gap. I've got some Zap-A-Gap here and a toothpick, and I'm just going to put a little dab of glue on the end of the toothpick, and then I'll dab that right here. And I'll slide the lead right up into that bead, just like so. And that will hold it there. Then I can take and helicopter off the rest of this lead, like so. Now I've got some regular 70 denier brown thread. I'll start that back here behind this lead, and I want to build up a little tapered body. So once I get that started, I'll come down a little bit and I'll go back up to where I started, and then go back down a little more, back to where I started, a little farther again, and then back down to the start of the bend of the hook. And when I get here, I want to make just 5-6 wraps right on top of one another, just to create just this little thread ball, just a little bit of a ball, and that's going to help situate the tail fibers. So I've got some regular pheasant, and I'm going to pull off 3 to 4 fibers, and what I'm going to do is just pull them. I just pull them straight away and make sure their tips are lined up, and then I'll just pull them right off the stem, keeping the tips aligned. And I want these to be about 1/2 to 3/4 the length of the body, or the length of the shaft. So that looks good there. So we'll transfer hands, the hook back up there, and we'll come in here and we'll make a wrap. And try to get it right on top of that ball you made, like so. And we'll come around behind, and that will support them a little bit. And so that ball will take and kind of splay these out a little bit, so these fibers are kind of sticking out like a regular nymph tail. Alright, and we can bring our thread forward. And this is going to serve as the body, so we want to leave that there. And then we'll take some copper wire, a little chunk of copper wire, and we're going to tie that in back here right behind the lead. And we want that wire to work its way to the opposite side of the hook shank. Like so. Then we can take our thread back up. Now it's probably best if you grab some hackle pliers. I've got some plunger style hackle pliers here, and I'm going to grab the end of these pheasant fibers to help me wrap. And so I can just wrap my body. Nice touching turns right here, keeping it nice and smooth. So it builds up a little taper. Come all the way up here to where we started with the lead. And then we can tie this off. And we'll cut off this excess. Be careful you don't cut your thread. Got a little doodad here, we gotta cut that off. Okay. Now we can wind our wire forward. Gives it a little segmentation, and it protects those fibers when fish teeth get on them. And that's good right there. 4 wraps forward. Stop right here and tie that off. So what you can do now is to helicopter this off. We'll take this bobbin and we'll work it in support. We'll support it right the hook shank and then work this off. Like so. And now I'm going to take, for the flashback, I've got just some mylar. This is like pearl mylar. It's the same as pearl Flashabou, so you can use either or. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one strand of it and I'm going to double it over, so I have two pieces of it. I'll tie these right on top, like so. Work my thread to the back of the bead. And now I'm going to take some more of this pheasant and I'm going to pull off about 6 or 8 strands, something like that. Same thing, I'm going to pull them away so that the tips are even, and then just pull them right off the stem. And what I can do is go in here and cut off those little pieces. Now these tips are going to act as the legs, so I want those to be just maybe half the hook length or shaft length. So we need to just kind of guess right about in there. Make sure the tips remain lined up. I've got a couple of them here that got a little short. Alright, and we'll put them right in here. Tie them right down on top. Like so. And then we can just wind our thread back here to about 1/3 of the way. And I've got some peacock. I'm going to take 2 strands of peacock. I'm going to cut these tips off so they're even. And I'll tie that in. And I'll leave my thread back here because I'm going to wind this peacock against the thread. It helps hold them together. So I just build up just a little bit of a thorax here. like so. And then we can tie these down. And cut off this excess. Now we can pull the pheasant forward to make the wing case. Try to flatten them out with your thumb. Make a couple wraps. The hook just keeps moving. And then we'll pull it and we'll put a wrap or two in front. Help stand it up a little bit, just makes it a little easier to cut off. Like so. And then the same with the mylar. Pull that forward. Couple wraps, front and back. And then that we can come in here, cut off, and we'll take these and we pull them back with our thumb, kind of hold them back here, and then make thread wraps right behind the bead. Build up just a little bit of a collar, and it holds those legs back along the sides. No, it doesn't want to cooperate, but it'll look all right when it's in the water. And then we can whip finish. Cut our thread off and put on a dab of head cement. Right there behind the bead. And that's our flashback beadhead pheasant tail. So pretty effective fly. You can fish that on a swing. You can fish it as a Euro nymph. You can just dead drift it on an indicator. It's really an effective fly. That flashback really picks up and flashes and just looks really good under the water. So tie some of these up and go out there and get you some.